Hey everybody, it's Sam. Just here to flow with you on this Thursday. So you can start in just any seated position. You can sit cross-legged. You can stack your legs if this is something that feels good. You'll just want to switch which leg's on top if you choose to sit in this way. You can also sit in like a half lotus, but once again, you would just want to switch which leg is on top while you're here. You could also sit in a cobbler's pose if this is something that feels good to you as well. So just finding some way to just have a nice easy seat and then just allow yourself to settle in. And of course, as always, as usual, if the way you're sitting starts out feeling good and then it starts to not feel good, then change it up. Don't ever stay in a position where you don't feel good and happy and restful. Because we're just hanging out here to start. So just allowing yourself to arrive. Just running through your day. And of course, if you're sitting up, you can take some neck rolls or just have a little bit of movement in your neck, whatever feels good. You can even do some shoulder rolls. And as always, if you need props to help yourself sit up and be able to be comfortable, then use them. Sit on a blanket or a bolster or something of this sort. You can begin to look at your breath here, your breathing. If you're taking neck rolls or stretching your neck, maybe starting to link those movements with your breath. And maybe too, as you sit here, you can take your hands and interlace them kind of up at the base of the head, kind of where it starts to meet your neck. And you can let it come back a little way, but you can also just get a little stretch and not really pulling the head down, but just letting your body weight of your arms kind of give it a little stretch. And you can move the hands down the neck to find somewhere that's comfortable. And like I said, I'm not pulling at my neck, just letting it hang. And then, of course, you can begin Ujjayi breathing if that's something that speaks to you and feels good to you. So slightly constricting the back of the throat on your inhales and exhales. If you can hear it over the whir of my computer, because that has been an ongoing theme for a few weeks now, I can demonstrate. And it's something that really does stretch and kind of lengthen the breath and the breathing, which is really great. So if you're ready to move a little bit, keep breathing, of course, however feels good and comfortable for you. And maybe just kind of moving the hips around in circles. And you can put your hands on the floor for this. You might get a little deeper that way. Hurt my fingers. Then we can go the other way. You could also just as easily keep your hands on your knee. And then if you feel good with that, we can just be done with it. But if not, you can certainly keep doing it. We'll take a little bit of a side stretch here. So you can inhale the arms up. And then you can exhale, left hand can come to the mat. You could also bring it over to your right hip. And you can bend over. You can also bring the hand or even the forearm, I suppose. Just feeling that nice opening and lengthening on the right side. Come back up. And then you can bring right hand to the mat or to the left hip. Next breath, you can come back up. Then we'll exhale the hands just back down to the mat here. So I'll scoot back around my mat. We'll just inhale or exhale here and just come up to a reverse tabletop, just because it's something we just don't do a lot, and it does feel kind of nice. Once again, you can let the head, the neck hang behind, or you can continue to look up. I get a nice stretch up the tops of my arms here, like on my biceps, up into the front of the shoulders. So that just always feels so good for that. You can let your bottom come back down. And then before we kind kind of move a little more. Let's just do a little seated twist here. I just think that would be so nice to get it started with. So we can bring the left leg down to the mat, and you can keep the right foot on the mat, just wherever you'd like to put it. You can keep your right hand down. You can inhale or exhale, twist to the right. Remember twisting from the base of the spine up, keeping the spine nice and tall. And exhale, you can come and twist in the opposite direction. And remembering too, this is early in the practice, so we're not like super warm, and so you probably may not twist as deeply as you typically would, and that's okay. So we'll switch the legs up here. And like in this position, my left hip is up off of the mat, on the other side my right was, and that's okay. So you can twist to the left. Just remembering to continue to breathe here. If you hold your breath, things get a lot harder. Next breath, you can let go of that and twist in the opposite direction. All right, and then you can come back to front, down across the legs, and we'll make our way to tabletop. So here you can just run through those nice cat-cows, inhaling, letting the belly drop toward the mat. Head tilts up a little bit. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Inhaling back. Exhaling, rounding the spine. Moving at your own pace with your own breath. And then when you're ready, we'll shift our hips up and back for our first down dog. So make your way there however you like. And then just take a little bit of time. Maybe pedal out the knees. You can step the legs wide. Shake out the head and neck. No tension there. On your next breath, you can inhale up on the toes. As you exhale, you can walk your feet to your hands for your first forward fold. And once again, be kind of gentle with yourself here. We're still new in the game here today. You can take a ragdoll. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then you can exhale the hands to heart center. We'll inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Then you can exhale, hands come to the mat. Step your right leg behind you. Lower your right knee to the mat for a low lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale your hands to the knees, to the hips, or the arms can come up. Exhale, the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale and step back to plank. And then when you're ready, you can exhale and lower down to the mat. We'll inhale to cobra. Doesn't have to be super high. You can also take just a baby cobra here. So lifting the chest and then just letting, look, mono hands. Just letting the hands come up here. So that's kind of a nice variation, and you can do this all the time. Otherwise, you could lift and then just have the hands here for support. Exhale back down to the mat. We'll inhale to plank. And then exhale back to down dog. When you're ready, you can inhale the right leg up behind you. As you exhale, right foot comes through to the hands. Lower the left knee to the mat for the lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale your hands to the knees to the hips, or the arms can come up. Sorry, I had a hair on me. Exhale, hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step up to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left leg behind you. Lower your left knee to the mat for the lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale your hands to the knees to the hips, or the arms can come up. Exhale your hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step back to plank. And then exhale, lower down to the mat. We'll inhale to cobra, or you can do that baby cobra. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Inhale to plank. And then exhale back to down dog. Inhale your left leg up behind you. As you exhale, left foot comes through to the hands. Drop the right knee to the mat for the lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. Exhale your hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step up to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your right leg behind you. Lower your right knee to the mat for the lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step back to plank. Exhale, lower down to the mat. We'll inhale to cobra. Exhale, back down to the mat. Inhale to plank. Then exhale, back to down dog. Inhale the right leg up behind you. As you exhale, right foot comes through to the hands. Lower the left knee to the mat for a lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale the arms up. Exhale the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step up to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands to heart center. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You can exhale, hands to the mat. Step your left leg behind you. Lower your left knee to the mat for the lunge. When you're ready, you can inhale your hands and knees to the hips, or the arms can come up. Exhale, hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step back to plank. And then when you're ready, we'll exhale, lower down to the mat. Inhale to cobra. Exhale back down to the mat. Inhale to plank. And then exhale back to down dog. Inhale your left leg up behind you. Exhale, left foot comes through to the hands. Knee comes down to the mat. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale the hands to the mat. Curl your back toes. We'll inhale, step up. Halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then exhale the hands to heart center. I don't know about you, but starting to feel warm. Starting to feel ready. So I just really gravitate to those sun salutations because they are so nice. It's just such a nice set of movements. You can have a little back bend, either in your extended mountain, in your lunge. You get the nice forward folding that happens. Also a good down dog. You get some hip stretching, flexibility, and then also the strengthening aspect. You can also take a little back bend in cobra, duh. But you also get the strengthening from being in that plank, lowering with control, pushing back up. So it's just such a nice way to build heat. It can also be modified so well. And it can be as fast or as slow as you like. So if you remember nothing else from any of my classes ever, and if you pay attention really closely, like the bulk of my classes are built around sun salutations. Just remember those, because if you on the summer solstice and the winter solstice, we do 108, and you feel it, but you feel good. Like you feel warm, you feel flexible, you feel strong, you feel a little tired, but you also just feel good. So they're just such a nice sequence of moves just to have in your own house. If you don't have internet or you're just bored one day and you're like, oh, I'm going to do something, just bust out some sun salutations and you will be like well on your way to feeling great. So that was like the more traditional sun salutation that was developed before the Ashtanga yoga movement. So Sun A and Sun B are derived from the Ashtanga scene. And I have a nice video breaking down all of the types of sun salutations that I was taught. So you can check that out. It's 30 minutes. It's a good time. We'll go through them a couple times each. Just saying. But we'll go ahead and move. Enough about me talking, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, you didn't come here for that. But you can start in just your nice mountain pose here. So just being really strong, noticing how you feel after moving. When you're ready, you can inhale your arms up and sit the hips back. You can just do chair this time. So in chair, weight's a little more in the backs of the feet. You should be able to like, hey, wiggle with your toes. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale back up to chair. And then step the left leg back and set up for a warrior one. So it's a little bit of a shorter stance and wider. If you've got your legs really narrowed together, it's going to be hard to stay up. If you want to challenge yourself, cool, lift it up. But also it doesn't have to be some like long, full length of your mat stance. And so front knee's bent, back foot's at a 45. The hips with your back leg going that way will kind of jut off toward the side. That's cool. You can also try to turn them toward the front. You'll get a nice stretch in the hip flexor here. Arms in warrior one. You can keep them at your heart center, that's cool. You can also have them up and separate. You can also, before you raise the hands, kind of bring them together and then bring them up and you'll back bend a little more. So whatever feels good. And then really pushing into that back pinky toe edge of the back foot, or the outside edge, not the back edge. Then we'll exhale. We'll come to a warrior two at the back of the mat. So we're over the left leg here. We'll exhale, you can do a reverse warrior. So the right arm can come down the right leg. It can also wrap around like, hey, you really can't see my fingers. Back through to a warrior two. We'll shift over to a side angle. Back up to your warrior two. We'll come to a reverse warrior again. Back to your warrior two. You can straighten the front leg. You might have to scoot that back like in a smidge. And then just tilt over to come to your triangle. And here in your triangle, hand can be on the shin. It can be down in front of the right leg or behind. But wherever you're at, you just don't want to put too much weight in this front hand. You should be able to lift it as I'm doing now and not be like, oh, once you lift it. So it's really, it's a nice side stretch here, but it's also a core strengthener. And you can look down, you can look up. On your next breath, we'll come back up. We'll do a reverse triangle, so the front leg stays straight here. And that hand can also rest back here. Back up. We'll go over to your triangle again. Then we'll launch out into a half moon. So you'll bend that front left leg, and then you'll kind of hop and reach out. The hand can come, and she's down. The hand can also come to a block here, if need be. So back leg is really flexed, engaged. The toes are flexed, trying to stack the hips here. On your next breath, we'll shift kind of to an airplane. is not my friend today. Then you can come up. You can rest the right foot on the ground if you need to. You can also just bring it up here. It can stay bent. You can try to straighten it and lift it as high as you can for a moment. And then maybe you try to come into a bit of a dancer or just a nice quad stretch. So you can stay here. This is feeling really great for my quad. You can also lean forward to a dancer. You can also stay in your dancer, bring your left hand back. It's kind of a dancer half moon remix. You can let go of the foot, come down for your forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the arms up, sit the hips back to chair. And exhale back to mountain. Woohoo! How fun was that? We're going to do it again on the other side. So it better be like the most fun you ever had. No. It's always the most fun you've ever had because you're doing it. And if you're doing it, it must be fun. Things might not always seem fun, but you can make them fun. I make everything fun. I don't know if you've learned that about me. So when you're ready for a mountain pose, you can inhale the arms up, sit the hips back to chair. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale the arms up, so the hips back to chair. And then we'll step our right leg back for your warrior one. So remember, shorter stance, and then you can take the feet a little wider apart. But really, it's whatever works for you. So just making sure that you feel good in this warrior one shape. And then remembering hands can be heart center, up and separate. You can also bring them together and bring them up. And then we'll shift to warrior two, back to the front of your mat. My mat's like making kind of obscene noises this morning. It's okay. So back over your right leg for your warrior two. And then here in warrior two, it should be said that typically, probably a lot, you'll hear people say like your heel should line up to the arch of your foot. For some people, like that is like the best feeling, most optimal alignment. But for other people, not so much. So some people need to bring this foot a little more in line with the toes. Some people bring it back like heel to heel. And that's cool. So it's like whatever just really works and feels really cool for you. Your thigh's probably burning. So we'll keep the knee bent though, but we'll do a reverse warrior. And then back to your warrior two. We'll come over to a side angle. And I'm just making mine extended. You don't have to. The arm can just stay up here. Next breath, we'll take another reverse warrior. Back to warrior two. You can straighten that front leg. You might have to step it in a smidge more. Tail to over for your triangle. And remember, test yourself here. What? I'm not dropping? Because my core, back, side, it's all really strong. And then, yeah, hand can be here, here, or on a block. Next breath, you can come up, keep your legs straight. We'll do a reverse triangle. Then we'll shift back over to your triangle. Then, it's half moon time, baby. Ardha Chandrasana. So when you're ready, you can take a leap of faith. You can kind of walk up or hop that left foot in and then take your leap of faith. Try not to look up, however. If you are unfamiliar with this pose and want to see what it looks like, look at me first and then try to do it. If you notice I'm not even really looking up much, not like I'm an expert or anything. But it just makes it very tricky when you shift the gaze in this pose. All right, we'll try to shift to our airplane. So now you want hips parallel, kind of even, and then the arms are out. Half moon, you're stacking the hips, and then an airplane or warrior three, you are keeping them even. My airplane has hit some turbulence. We'll shift up. Leg can come up and stay here. You can straighten it for a little bit of strengthening. That's rough. So you can bring the left foot to the left hand. And you can stand here for a really, really nice quad stretch. And come out as many times as you need to. Remember, this isn't anything super serious. It's balancing. It's good for you, but don't be a crazy person. So we'll shift forward to dancer if you feel like it. And then you can take your dancer down for like the half moon dancer remix. And then you can let go of that. Forward fold. We'll inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Then we'll inhale, arms up, hips back for chair. Then exhale, back to mountain. So, not a lot of it, really just like the beginning and warrior one. The beginning to warrior one, I just took that from some B and just wanted to make it different. Recently in a training with my boy, Michael Johnson, shout out, he just said it is good to be able to incorporate flows because down dog and plank, chaturanga, they get so much hang time in most of our classes because they're just great transition poses, and there's nothing wrong with them. Down dog, chaturanga, plank all day long. But they're not always poses that are accessible to everybody. So he was like, it's just really nice to try to incorporate kind of a sun citation or some sort of sequenced flow without having to have a down dog and a plank. So I just tried it out on you guys. I think it worked well. You can drop me some feedback in the comments. Let me know how you feel. But but yeah, so that was my attempt at that. What time is it? We can kind of start pulling it down, actually. That last flow, we kind of held a few poses for a few breaths, so it just took a little longer. But I'm definitely a smidge on the sweaty side, so I think we cultivated some heat. It worked. So let's squat. I haven't actually made you guys really squat in a while. So you can do kind of that traditional squat that I just have you get into. Just being able to stay upright. I almost fell back as I said you need to be able to stay upright. You can also come into actual malasana. So in this one, you are kind of up on the toes, the heels are lifted. So one, you can stay here and sink a little bit of the weight back in your heels some, and you can notice a little bit of a calf stretch going on. You may have to take feet still a little bit wider apart. So you can be here. You can try to actually make a malasana shape, a mala, by binding behind the knees. And you can look to the right. You can use a strap, a shoelace, a shirt, something, a dish towel. If you can't quite reach the hands, you can try the other side. I don't know if you hear my shoulders, both of them just kind of snap, crackle, pop. And then back. And then you can let knees come to the mat. So we're here. We can take just a little bit of a back bend here. So if anybody likes to do hero's pose, I was like, I can't even think of it. You can certainly sit between both of your legs with your bottom on the floor and let yourself go back. That's really just not felt great for my knee situation here lately, so I'm not going to do it. You can also stay in Thunderbolt here and then just kind of walk your hands behind you. I leave my fingertips pointed toward my toes and then just kind of push up. You can let the head come back. I think this feels nice. And yeah, you could do camel. I feel like I just really didn't do enough to put you in a camel. It would feel really great. So if you want, we can do a pigeon, for a little bit, because I think a pigeon always feels nice. So you can come into this from tabletop if you want. You could also just kind of shift up into a plank real quick, and then just bring your right leg forward. So you can be in your actual upright pigeon. Come back a little bit on that back leg. And you're up. There's space here between my legs. A little more for the back bend. You can also, as Michael Johnson also says, squidgen it. So you can stay with your pigeon legs and fold forward. You can also come into swan, resting all of your weight on your right thigh, and then letting the weight come forward. So really, it's like whatever kind of goals you have, whatever kind of stretch you really feel like you need. You should find that position and make it work for you. And then another of note here, if you take hands over to the right, it makes the stretch a little less intense. Pigeon, it ain't nothing to, or swan, whatever, it's nothing to I'm not doing anything here. To the middle intensifies a little more. And then if you bring the hands over to the left, to the left, to the left. It makes it a little more intense. So just figuring out what kind of stretch you need, where your body's at. You can also here, I'm trying to think, I feel like you would twist to the right. I've seen people, you can do like prayer hands. Probably take that left elbow kind of over to the right, and you can twist. Yeah, this feels pretty cool. I've got my hands pushed together. I don't know if you can. You can't. I'll show you on the other side. Feels very nice. What time is it? We won't stay here super long because I want you to get the shavasana that you deserve. So when you're ready, you can sit up. We're going to transition here. We're going to do something here. So you'll roll your weight onto your hips, and you'll come to the back of your mat. Left leg is straight, right leg is bent. You can inhale the arms up, exhale, just forward folding down toward that left leg. Then you come back up. We'll kind of twist back toward the front of the mat. You can come into that plank. I mean, I gave you guys like a break on the planks today. So left leg comes up and through. And then once again, it's just always good to try to do the same things you did on one side as the other. So if you pigeoned it first for a little bit, you know, try it out for a second on this side as well. Maybe one day I'll get my leg up. Who knows? Maybe not. And then you can fold forward here without putting the weight into that left hip. And then you can kind of let the weight drop. Let the weight drop. Like let the beat drop. I mean, I'm really like on today, you guys. You can fold forward into your swan if you like. And then yeah, weight over to the left, less intense. To the right a little more. And then clear to the right. You will have a little more intensity in that hip. Oh, and then the twist, sorry. So you can bring your right elbow over to the left, bring your hands together, and then just kind of like push into the hands to give you a little lift. What a nice little twist thing here. You know, I went to training and all that, but I say like twist thing. Real technical. All right, so you can lift up. We'll shift the weight onto the hips, come to the back of the mat. Right leg will be straight, left leg bent. You can inhale the arms up, exhale, leaning over toward the right leg. All right, you can inhale, come up. And now it's time for Shavasana. If you need to do little moves or something, like to get yourself really set up for it, then do it. But, you know what? Like, we're laying the opposite way we normally would, and like, let's just roll with that. Like, we're gonna embrace that it's different, okay? So, I mean, if it really, really, really bothers you, and you're like, no, you're not gonna be able to rest comfortably because you're laying the opposite way you usually would, by all means, switch it. But you can try to embrace it. You can also take a shavasana with your legs up the wall if you want. Just let yourself kind of lay here. Find a spot where you feel really comfortable. If you need props under the knees, under the neck, even something under the low back, that's fine. A blanket, it's kind of drizzly and like, I don't want to say like cold, but it's kind of cool out. You might want a blanket. You just want to be able to lay in some fashion where you can just allow yourself to be very still. And right now I'm got my windows open and I'm listening to the rain. And yeah, my first thought when I woke up this morning was like, great, another day of rain. It's gonna be wet again. It's gonna be cloudy again. It's gonna be wet again. Because rain has a tendency to stop us from doing things that we expected we would be able to do outside, things we had planned to do outside. Rain can cause our grass to keep growing and growing and growing, weeds to keep growing and growing and growing. Things can kind of grow out of control quickly. You know that saying, when it rains, it pours. It can be easy to feel overwhelmed by all the things that you can't do, by all the things that you wanted to do, or by all the things that you now have to do because it rained. Because it's raining again. But rain also causes things to grow, good things to grow. It nourishes beautiful flowers and plants, our vegetables in our gardens. Gives the animals something to drink, a home for the fish. It's also very cleansing. Not actual rainwater, but you know where I'm going with this metaphor. Water can wash things away. It can allow a fresh start, some newness. The listening to the sound of the rain can be very, very soothing, very peaceful. Just goes to show you that it depends on how you choose to view things. Can affect your outlook on them forever, or your outlook on the day, your attitude, your mood. You can certainly be bummed that it rained today if you were planning on doing something really cool and fun. And also you maybe acknowledge that the rain isn't all that bad. There's something good about the rain. Maybe your creek bed was dry before this rain today. Now it's full and flowing. Maybe washing away any of your worries and troubles, or you feel replenished, rejuvenated. Maybe you had a buildup of sticks and rocks and junk in your stream. And this fresh rainfall has been able to clear that blockage and wash it away. You're not stagnant anymore. You just flow and be. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you like. But if you're ready to move again, just allow this to happen and occur. Just this feels natural and good for you. And then you can roll to one side of your choosing. And when you feel ready, I invite you to join me in a comfortable seated position. We'll bring the hands to heart center, eyes closed, and gaze down. I'm so grateful to share this practice with you. May you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, and may you live with ease. Namaste.